Okay, we're back. Had a little bit of a crash there. The server, that is, not my computer. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get back to floor 3, where we unfortunately hit a shaft that took us down 3 floors. So we come up, and we have unfortunately quite a lot of stuff here. And we can't really fight much of this at once. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to kill this adder with magic darts before it gets next to us, or any of the jackals get next to us. Okay, good, we got it. We got it with a searing ray. Now we'll send another searing ray this way. We'll wait one turn. Okay, good, we got a second jackal. Now we'll go back down and we'll rest. As much as we would like to stay on that floor, there's just too much stuff. I don't feel confident at only level 3 with 5 AC and 26 hit points. I don't feel confident being surrounded by this kind of stuff. Remember, we're not a melee character yet. We'll probably hybridize at some point. Okay, that's a white. We really don't want to fight that if possible. So we're going to put an exclusion around him. You do that by holding shift, hitting X to go into map mode, and then you can press E to cycle through the different kinds of exclusion. And then we'll get a nice warning if we try to go anywhere that he can see. So we're just going to take this really slow. We're still in quite a lot of danger on a floor like this where we could run into anything. We're hoping that we don't run into something that causes us serious problems like, oh, I don't know, a centaur. We found a staircase, one down and one up. That's really good. Okay, we're going to go up. This isn't half bad. Okay, this is actually pretty good. So far, anyway. But this could go poorly. Oh, and it has gone poorly. I think we pretty much have to head back to the staircase. This is okay, though. Now, we've got 2 potions of curing. So even if he confuses us, which he very much could, we'll probably make it to the staircase. I'm not a big fan of Ajib being here. He always spawns with a wand. We're immediately confused. Let's try to walk while confused. Bump. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, oh man, I don't want to fight him. I'm just taking a look at how much damage he can do with the fire dart. Okay, 15. He can kill us in 2 hits. Now, it's pretty bad. He can also hit us with that scythe for quite a lot of damage. Just looking up, let's see, scythe. Base damage 14. So all things considered, he can basically kill us in 2 hits. So we don't want to fight him. It's just that the situation is quite rough. Let's go down. Let's go back to the other staircase. Hopefully by now things have moved around a bit. We spent a few turns on that floor. Okay, this is pretty good. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here, and I'm going to go into this hallway and use Ray. As you can see, we go through them with that final ray. And we'll stay at the downstairs as we rest. Okay, we're not exactly out of danger now, but things are a lot easier, I would say, because we're now level 3, or level 4 rather. Once we get our color, then we're really having an easier time. I just used a Searing Ray, of course. As you can see, it's very, very useful. Let's get a little bit of fighting. We'll get like a hit point or two out of that, and our apt is actually +1, so that's good. Now, I definitely don't want to run into a Jib. He always has a wand, which means he could definitely have something that could just one-shot us. Another reason why I'm training fighting, even though it's a bit early. In fact, I don't even want to be on D5, even when I come back to it, honestly. So this is good. Looks like we're going to make it back to our to the floor we want to be on. Let's grab these boots. That gives us a little extra AC. We don't care that they're cursed. Looks like we found a sword on the ground and an amulet here. I'm going to go back to D3 though. Let's wear the sword. Okay, short sword of speed. Alright, I'll take that. Could have been something bad, but I wasn't too concerned. Oh no. Wow. Wow, okay, let's go back down. I don't even really want to be fighting an orc wizard right now, but it worked out for us. Yeah, that nasty ghost was next to us along with a whole pack of orcs, so not the best situation to be in. Got a couple hit points, that's good, from the fighting training. Never underestimate what a couple hit points can do. That can be the difference between life and death. Whoops, took a step further than I intended to there. And we've got, unfortunately, we've got more orcs. I think I'm going to have to go down. Well, geez, there's just too much here. Let's see if I can walk away without things spotting me. And I did. Nice. Again, I really would prefer not to be fighting these orcs at all, but if I can get them one at a time, well, it's less terrifying. Okay, here's a priest. And we'll get him with Searing Ray, or we'll try to. Okay, that's not so bad. We'll go back to training, spellcasting, and conjuration. Now that we've got like a marginal amount of fighting, and the cost has gone up a bit. Mainly we just want to kill things quickly and have enough mana to keep doing that. I wouldn't say that we're out of the frying pan yet, but this could be worse. Could be worse, rather. Let's get him closer to us so that the Searing Ray can do its work. He doesn't die, so we do it again. That could have been bad if he had decided to spam, on us with Smite, but he didn't, so that's fine. And like I said, we still have the Curing Potion, so that's one panic button. We also have some unidentified potions in 3 stacks. One of those is likely to be healing. Okay, we got some tomahawks. I'll pick those up. I'm unlikely to use them at this point, but on the plus side, we're going to get our color soon, and that's going to make the game a lot easier. Okay, got some interesting item options here. I think I'm probably going to buy the Scroll of Identify first. That's really useful right now. We'll mark that we'd like to take a look at the ring. Probably the sword is worth taking a look at. The book is certainly worth taking a look at. But until then, let's just satisfy ourselves with these scrolls and potions. And I'll mark the potion of cancellation too. And this amulet. And I guess the hat as well. But we've spent all of our gold, so let's go ahead and identify one of the 3 stacks. Lignification. That's a pretty good get out of jail free card, so I'm happy to see that. if I am stuck fighting a jib or anything like that, I'll probably lignify, because that'll at least give me the hit points to survive versus the wand. Shouldn't have walked towards that. I should have thrown a tomahawk at it and let it come to me and then searing raid it. Or just magic darted like that. That's okay. We get to level 6, and now we're only 1 level away from our color. Draconian colors are interesting. They absolutely change your game to a large degree. Hey, Pro Magic, that's a welcome sight. Anyway, yes, some colors are better than others. Some colors are especially better for others if we're trying to be a main caster. Oh man, we found our first altar and it's a really good god. Unfortunately, it's not the best god for if we want to be a caster. I'll tell you what. We're gonna get our color, and if it's not conducive to casting, I think we're gonna switch into being more of a melee guy. But it's usually not a good idea to switch once you're this. I mean, I wouldn't say we're deep into it, but we're a book start, and so we got like 21 intelligence right now. So, and we have a ring of fire. So if we go fire, that'd be cool. But yeah, Makhleb is not really. You can't really. I don't want to say that you can't be a caster with Makhleb, but it's certainly harder. But it's a good god. I'm just kind of hedging my bets a little bit here. But I would get, I don't know, you don't really get a lot of immediate benefit out of worshipping Makhleb. I don't think he gives you the, I do not think that he gives you healing from kills until you gain a pip of piety. So it's not like Gozag where you're just immediately getting this huge benefit. But it is one of the better gods in the game. Okay, we identified Potion of Degeneration. We'll drop that. Perhaps I should be identifying this amulet instead of all these potions. I suppose I could just wear the amulet. If it's harm, I wouldn't think that's the end of the world, I suppose. Unfortunately, it is Guardian Spirit, which, as much as we would like to have a little extra hit points, we don't want them so much that we're willing to sacrifice magic for it. Since, of course, we're defenseless if we don't have our spells. Looks like D3, you know, outside of that shaft that got us, is relatively safe. Okay, we're gonna go all the way back here. Check this out. Okay, I think one, two, three, four. That didn't work quite how I wanted it to, but that's okay. Kind of expected the priest to be right behind the Quokka, but I miscounted. I wanted to start the Searing Ray, and then he's right there. Can't always work out the way that you want it to, though. Whoops, saw priest. There we go. Ray him some more. You may be wondering why I'm just ignoring the rest of the spell book, and the answer is, Dazzling Spray is really good if you're willing to train hexes. You can blind people with it, and so if you want to do stabs, it's a really nice combo. Mystic Blast is sort of a weird one. It's like your AoE, but it's like an oddly shaped AoE. It does more damage. I mean, it's pretty good, I guess, especially if you want to train straight conjurations like I've been doing. Fulminant Prism is actually really, really good. But again, I don't really want to dip into hexes right now. If I was not a Draconian, I would probably be using a little bit more of my spell book, but I don't really want to commit to anything right now without seeing what color I am, other than conjurations. Thankfully, we're getting closer. And you'll notice, you know, as a Draconian, we're doing pretty good. I mean, what other caster is going to have this much AC and this many hit points at this point? Not a lot. I'm getting pretty tired of this deep dwarf ghost. Let's see if we can take it out. Got him. Only took 2 rays. Of course, it was nice that he didn't hit us. But as you can see, Magic Dart and the Ray are perfectly adequate for dealing with just about any problem that you're going to run into at this point in the game. And if I recall correctly, the math on it is such that I think Searing Ray will do more damage than Mystic Blast. I'm not positive on that. But I think that as far as like for turn count versus damage, as long as you get all of them out, I would assume that the Ray does more damage. So, on the other hand, Mystic Blast does do quite a lot, and it probably has, as a higher level spell, it probably has a higher spell power cap. But we haven't hit the spell power cap yet for Searing Ray. So it's one of those things where once we get there, maybe we'll care, but I'm fine cheesing these for now. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that shop and get some more things, just some scrolls. Every little thing can help us survive, so of course we're going to buy up everything we can. Okay, let's go down to D5. Looks like we've cleared D3 and D4. Oh wow, here's that centaur. I'm always worried about a centaur. That's the thing that I'm always concerned about on a caster. But if you're going to have to run into one, this is the way you want to run into it, which is you're right next to it. Sort of obnoxious that he hits us as soon as we go down, but that's okay. Let's Searing Ray this guy to death. I should be thankful because at least I don't have to deal with the bow. Okay, here we go. Not the best color. Not the worst either. The breath is pretty good. It's kind of like having Meph Cloud, I guess. Noxious fumes, so it makes the early game quite easy. And we get our poise for free, which is, you know, not bad. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help our apps at all, because do we want to go into poison magic? No, we don't. This honestly makes me more willing to... This makes me more interested in becoming a melee type guy. Or even use bows. Maybe this will be the time that I finally show you guys just how good a bow is. Oh, there were nets that dropped here and I missed them. Okay, I'll just train some fighting and dodging for a little while. Oh, grinder. Uh-oh. What do I want to do about grinder? Do I want to lignify? I am tempted to lignify, but I'm not going to. D5 is a real pickle. D5 has grinder, Ajib, and Sigmund. Although it's certainly better than running into all that on like D3. I think D5 is a skip. I should be using my breath, actually. I'm not sure how much noise it makes. Let's find out. So you use it, and you get a straight line. And it's just meth cloud is all it is. Which is awesome. Really awesome. Of course, you can get the same thing from being a wizard, but if you're a melee type especially, having meth cloud for free is awesome. But this is fine. You know, just because we put a little bit of points into conjuration doesn't mean we have to stay as a pure caster, you know. And it's my opinion that if you get this color, this is one that works better not as a caster. So I'm really tempted to just go into bows. My apt is only -1, which is actually not terrible. And bows are so absurdly overpowered that, well, I'll just show you what I mean here in a minute. Doing some incompetent stabbing here. Also, in my experience and in my opinion, Draconians have an easier time swapping into something else between magic and melee. And the reason for that is that, well, they're kind of the natural hybrid because they get AC without impacting castability. Okay, we have 2 potions of mutation. Let's eat this and see what happens. We got antenna. That's good. I'm still not sure if I want to take that altar. I am tempted. You know what? We have the altar available. Let's just take it. Makhleb is good. That'll let us build piety. We'll train some invocations while we do it. That's not the god we really wanted, but if I'm trying to play optimally, that is the god I should use. I wanted to go Oka to show you guys just like how good it can be. But I think I can get away with, well, technically if I wanted to, I could use bows. I could use bows without worshipping Oka. You get quite a lot of arrows. But I mean, like, I already have 111 if I really wanted to. But it's not terribly comfortable sometimes. If you're spamming arrows too much, you might run out. Then you might have to go, like, farm them, basically. Oh, whoops, I went to D5 and I auto-explored a bit. That's okay, we're just going to confuse him. Sigmund can't really stand up to this. And we'll just swing on him while he's confused and magic dart him to left. We magic dart him to death, but we also take a little bit of a turn here to avoid that centaur that we saw. I was going to like duck into this hallway, so it had to get next to me. This is one of the more obnoxious things we could find, this phantom, since of course he is immune to our breath. But he is nice enough to stay in the same spot and not blink around, allowing us to Searing Ray him. And we get the iguana. Have quite a stockpile of potions and scrolls, even if the ones that we want are not necessarily identified, so that's a plus. Wow, Eustacia was on this floor too. Oh man, we keep running out of mana. I'm gonna, wow, yeah, I'm going down here. That's not good. We have to get next to it. I suppose that's more arrows for the stockpile. Now, if you have 0 mana and you try to do the ray, if you try to wait for it, it says without enough magic to sustain it, your Searing Ray disappears. So we're just going to walk away from all this nastiness because we'd really like to have our full mana back. Unfortunately, confusing things is not great for Searing Ray. Because, as you can see, it moves around. Sometimes you can fail to breathe. If you look, you can see you fail to use your ability. That's certainly possible. 4% fail rate right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and memorize Mystic Blast. 8% fail rate. 15 mana, maybe not. Okay, this is a jib. I'm going to confuse him. We have enough hit points we can survive. Well, I guess he could double zap us with a lightning bolt. Let's make it so he can't double zap us. Okay, good. Now he shouts. I don't think he can double zap us from this angle. So if we gas him, oh, he hits us with the acid wand. Let's get him again. Okay, now he's confused. I could have popped on the resist acid. But I'd rather just kill him as fast as possible and get him confused as well. Or do that first, I guess. But see, that's why you don't fight a jib unless you have quite a lot of hit points. Because that acid wand can do something like 46 damage to you, I think. Maybe more. Really insane amount of damage. In fact, if I was playing truly safely, I should have just skipped this floor, but I'm getting a little bit greedy here. Do I want a +5 club more than I want a +2 short sword of speed? Probably not. Really like to try out that long sword, though. Here's the temple, which unfortunately we don't get to really play with because we already threw our lot in with Makhleb. We'll just pull all this stuff and confuse it all. And let the ray kill those things, and then magic dart him to death. We'll move forward so we can ray this guy. This is interesting, a dagger of draining. A very good weapon. We'll wear it. Drain is an excellent brand. One that you should definitely consider using if you find it. I've noticed that a lot of people tend to underestimate how good Drain can be as a brand. Okay, this isn't good. We're a bit low on magic. I think, yeah, you know what we're going to do? We will Lignify. Lignify is a really good tool against Grinder, because even if he confuses you, first of all, your AC becomes 24, so not going to do a lot of damage to you. You're going to nullify most of his attacks on average. And on top of that, the pain effect is, I don't know if you're immune to it or just very resistant, but you get 3 pips of Arneg, so you do the math on that. We're also going to do the trick where we wear nothing, because you get a big boost to your melee attacks if you're unarmed. Let's see. I don't even think we need to use our wand of acid. And look how much damage we're doing when we smack Grinder. We have no unarmed training, by the way. Something fun that we could do on this character is we could go into transmutations and get dragon form. That would be good with Makhleb, assuming we find the book. This isn't so great. There's a centaur. We'll just let him come to us. I'm not gonna... Wow, he doesn't want to. How about we try to wear the short bow? Oh, this isn't bad. Yeah, there we go. And take him out with our branch fists. Okay, still don't have enough gold to buy anything other than this hat, which I don't think we're going to drop 110 gold on. Let's turn off this exclusion now that we're reasonably sure we don't need it. By the way, we're just training defenses and invocations. Invocations because, well, we're Makhleb, so we know we're going to use it eventually. And thankfully, just with Searing Ray and Magic Dart, you know, with the level of magic training we have right now, in combination with our breath weapon, we can take most threats that the dungeon can throw at us at this point. It's just a matter of playing carefully enough that stuff doesn't end up next to you. Or if it does end up next to you, knowing what to do. A lot of whites on this floor, unfortunately. Or maybe I should say fortunately, because, well, certainly is something we can handle. Okay, this is an interesting situation. I think I'm gonna go for Dex. Mostly because what I'm concerned about here is dodging is more defense than attack right now. Maybe I'll get some EV. Normally I would go for strength probably in this situation, but I'll never be wearing armor, and so my strength would really only be giving me more damage, which I would rather double up. Okay, I want to eat some food here, since I was spell-hungering my way into starvation. Try to lure these guys into a hallway again. And then let the ray do the work. Cool. You notice, at no point in this game have we really taken any damage. I mean, there was no point where I let myself take damage that would be like panic mode. If you can get to the point where you can play like that, although to be fair, we've been a little bit lucky this game, but if you can play well enough that your log doesn't show anything where you're like low hit points or whatever, I'm not talking about the low hit point warning, I'm talking about if you're like in single digits or something like that, I think the log will tell you, or will report things like that. Because obviously if I was talking about low hit point warning, that's variable. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is if you can play without ever getting low, that's a mark of a good player, I think. because that means that you haven't relied. What it probably means that you haven't relied on the RNG to keep you alive. I have a lot of scrolls here. I may consider read IDing some of them soon, just because I'd really like to have teleport identified. Still can't afford the sword. I think that's going to be my next purchase, though, even though I would like to take a look at the book. There are a lot of things the book could be that we would be interested in. A lot of hybrid things. I'm still not using my breath that much. I'm kind of treating the breath as like a panic button. Because everything, when I run into one thing at a time here, well, I can kill it, you know? I want the breath to be something that I use if I'm, you know, not confident that I can kill it. But as long as I'm fighting like one thing at a time, I don't think I'm really at risk enough to use the breath. And this way, I mean, the thing is, your breath is on a timer. And so, what I'm saying is that if I'm in such a problem, or a problematic kind of fight, I will definitely not have it on timer. It'll always be available to me if I'm only using it when there's an actual problem and not just willy-nilly. So I'm not treating it like a regular resource. I'm treating it like treating it more like say the Lamp of Flames or whatever it's called. Just because, you know, it's a little bit more like that. It's like a resource that comes back over time, but it's not always available to you, even if it does come back quickly. Although that's the interesting thing about Draconians, is that the breath is different, significantly different actually, for every color. So we'll pass on this sort of venom. Draining is probably better. I will say that if this character hits up Lair, I would consider it to be a bit unprepared. Oh, it's Maurice. Now, here's a good reason to... Whoa, he has a wand. He has a wand of polymorph. That could be obnoxious. So this is a situation where we would like him to be confused. He's not getting confused. Okay, there we go. Maurice is one of the more obnoxious things in the game. But that's okay, we got him. We should consider training a little bit of evocations, probably. We're at the point where we have a lot of wands, so we'll just do that by itself for a while. Take it to our usual 5 to 7-ish, 5 to 8-ish. Maybe a little more. And that way we'll have a few more panic buttons that are even better. Wands are excellent. Really, really good. Wands basically give you the power to be a spellcaster of a higher caliber than you currently are. Or possibly will ever be. Okay, we've got a very good candidate for the breath. These guys are susceptible to poison. And so, of course we breath them. Normal characters, or some characters, I guess, you know, killer bees are like a run ender, you know, or a panic situation, but for us, we're naturally resistant to poison, and we can just sort of kill them with the breath. No big deal. This Sky Beast doesn't want to die, but finally does after 3 rays. Yeah, I think we will have a spicier Lair on this character than we have had in the other runs that I've put on YouTube. Let's stair dance, or rather column dance this guy for a little while. Yeah, just to get another ray out. Hate fighting whites, because eventually you will get drained. Looks like this is probably where the bees came from. Okay, that white's dead. Haven't really worn a weapon yet, although I will take a look at this enchanted greatsword. +3 greatsword. Well, if I find brand weapon, that would be an acceptable endgame weapon. Greatsword is perfectly fine to take to the end of the game. Triple swords are overrated. Let's identify this Wand of Acid. Got a full 9 charges on it, that's awesome. I'll identify these potions. Still don't have healing. Oh wait, we do. Maybe I should have identified a scroll or two. Just doing a little inventory management. Evocation's up to 5. We'll train a little bit more. Can't hurt. Ice beasts can be deadly. I was getting a little bit concerned there. He had a sort of venom, but I'm just not terribly concerned about kobolds at this point with venom because, as I said, I am poison resistant. I think we'll use this short sword of venom, though. It is +2. Still haven't trained any weapons, and I'm okay with that. Alright, check this out. Normal characters see one of these guys, and they have cause for alarm, not us. Oh, whoops. If we handle it properly, that is. Here we go. We can just blast him a bit. And our breath comes back, we use it again. It may take us a little while. Whoops. He sure came out of that quickly. Let's try that again as soon as our breath comes back. I should not be running into this unidentified area, but that's okay. If I really want to, I can use a wand. But, I mean, I don't. Okay, let's... Magic arrow. This is annoying me. Okay, he doesn't want to die. I'll use the acid wand. Very well. I took a little bit of a risk there letting him stand next to me, but... Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I probably could have died if I rolled poorly on AC. It's just that getting a little bit stingy there with my charges, and I shouldn't be considering I have 9 of them. I mean, that's what they're for, right? To keep you from dying to two-headed ogres. I was just getting a little cocky with the, oh, well, I'm a green Draconian, so I shouldn't have to use resources on two-headed ogre as well. Turned out I did. But that's okay. It's better than dying. Took a bit of a risk there, but we didn't die, so let's kind of make a note of it for the future. I think we're getting fairly close to the lair, which is where I will cut this video short. I really do like how Searing Ray acts as a bolt in the final shot. It's one of those things, it's just really satisfying. Because you generally don't get access to bolts so early in the game. But having access to like a sort of pseudo-bolt ability, it's just nice. And it lets you deal with certain situations in ways you wouldn't normally be able to. Okay, so no D8 Lair, unfortunately. We always like to find Lair as early as possible if we can. We will stop training evocations as soon as it hits 8. I think we're coming up on it though. I see a lot of animals, and that's often a hint that you are about to hit lair entrance. And soon we will start training some sort of weapon, but I mean, with a little bit of legwork, we could probably go through... Oh, wow, I'm already up to 8.4. Let's change back to what we were doing, fighting, dodging, invocations. Yeah, with a little bit of legwork, we could take out all of Lair, I think, with our current setup. It would just be a little bit obnoxious. There are certain things that would cause us issues. Our breath won't really work on spiny frogs because, well, let's look at spiny frogs. Spiny frogs are resistant to poison. I could, you know, Searing Ray them. I could probably train a little more invocations and Mystic Blast them to death. But it just comes down to, do I want to have more of a tedious lair or not? Maybe. Or, of course, you know, I could just use wands every time I see a spiny frog or a hydra. And that's an option. Hey, a war axe of chopping. Not the best weapon, but interesting nonetheless to see that in the hands of a Crimson Imp. Oh. Oh boy. Could this be an entrance to Orc? I'm gonna do something fun. I will, oh, that's a scroll of enchant weapon. I just put on the greatsword. I'm gonna actually spam identify some of these scrolls, not because I'm in danger. Oh, it's teleport. Oh, this isn't gonna work. I was gonna try to do something fun. Oh, it was immolation. Okay, we're gonna see if we can do something fun here. Yeah. Okay, this could be good. Alright, we can still do it. It's salvageable. I'm spending a little resources for this, but I just want to see it. Boom. Oh, that's not working out for me. And I'm gonna... See, this is when you spend resources just to have fun. But I really like to see immolation in action. Okay, finally, there we go. Alright, okay. We killed the room. We spent resources when we didn't have to do that, but I mean, I enjoyed myself. Did you? Now, as for getting away from this crap that has gathered up behind us, let's just walk backwards. He gets, of course, he gets a double move on us. A bit annoying. But somehow gets, like, random energy in the opposite direction several times in a row. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's just always really satisfying to kill an entire room of things. Even if you have to spend a little bit of resources to do it. Do I recommend that as an actual strategy? No. But it's just one of those things that's fun to do. A lot of two-headed ogres on this floor. I'm trying to magic dart this guy to death. And I have succeeded, mostly. Looks like we found a ring of wizardry. That is an option, but I think we're just going to keep pro magic on, honestly. Oh, man. It got me. It finally got me. The Amulet of Harm. I'm not wearing that with this many things around. Oh, man. The one time that I wore an amulet without identifying it, that amulet should just not be in the game, honestly, but anyway, that's okay. We'll get undrained soon enough. Drain doesn't hurt us too badly. We still have really good conjurations training for the level of spell that we're using. Certainly could be worse. If we were trying to cast really high-level magic, that would be bad for us. Oh, we're slow. And this ogre is refusing to get confused. So, what do? Have a few options. This is actually really bad that we're next to him while slowed. I think the best option probably... I should probably cancel, honestly. Jeez, why did he have to slow me? I'll blow a cancel. I don't like doing that, though. He got confused, but he still hit us, which is, you know, definitely possible. Something you have to keep in mind. That confusing something doesn't mean it can't hurt you. Especially if it's next to you. It is perfectly capable of randomly walking into you. Oh, geez. Am I about to get drained even more? Okay, there we go. Cool. And we're down to yellow drain, which is an improvement upon our situation. And this guy over here can confuse us. Let's see if Searing Ray does work for us here. If he starts vampiric draining us... Oh, he's... Okay, he's just gonna have to... He's just gonna have to take the acid. I'll use 2 charges to take out a vampire. That's totally fine by me. Vampires are a rather difficult opponent for a lot of characters at this point in the game. Basically anything that can turn invisible can be a bit of a pain, but add on the fact that it can confuse you and drain your life if it gets hurt. You've basically created a monster that has a lot of survivability. Oh man, so much damage possible on this guy. 15, 35. A lot of damage possible with this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and use acid on him. He's confused, that's good. Let's take the risk. He shouldn't be able to kill me in one hit. It's very, very unlikely anyway. Okay, good. He goes down. We are using acid quite a lot, but we have 2 scrolls of recharging, so I'm not too concerned. What I do want to do is identify one of these Ice Blast wands. Wow, this troll, he does not care about my breath, I'll tell you that much. So as you can see, we're now reaching a situation where our defenses are quite nice. We've got a fairly survivable character here, but it's having a little bit of a hard time killing things in a reasonably fast way. And so it just comes down to, do I want to bite the bullet and train a weapon that's not maybe totally ideal? Or do I want to dump more experience into conjurations, even though it's not ideal either? And it's just how much, you know, it's just a question of like which direction you want to take the character. By the way, all those yaks and whatnot really go down like a sack of potatoes if you have a meth cloud that goes in a line like that. So I have to say that the green dragon breath is a bit underrated. By far, the red one is the best in my opinion. The steam one, or pale draconian, is really good too. I mean, it's really up to you though, which one you like the best. Wow, 4 charges? 5 charges. Come on, man. Stop draining my life. Okay, finally. Use 6 charges, actually, to take that guy down. Let's preemptively recharge our acid wand. Actually, I'm curious about something with scrolls of recharging. I wonder if it recharges more if you have more evocations. I'm not really sure about that. The Baked Spriggan and the Spriggan Baker. Sort of a gruesome but funny little vault, where I suppose the Spriggan was meant to have baked the other Spriggan. Got another troll here, or rather it's the same troll as before, and we really want him to be out of our way. I would polymorph him, but I just know something worse would show up. Oh, this is good. Okay. We can magic dart for days. Fortunately, he goes around the corner. That's okay. Right, we got the troll. Let's see if we can't... Oh, man. These guys sure do not stay... Okay, I'm gonna try to searing if we take damage, we'll just, you know, walk to that teleporter trap and be safe. If we take, one more. Okay, good. Not a big deal. Okay, done exploring. I see that there was a sword here. I'll try it out. Oh, man. Greatsword of electricity. That's in-game. I think I'm forced to do this now. I really wanted to show off bows, but maybe next time. Can't turn down electricity, so I have some enchant weapons here. And we'll just train nothing but long blades for a while. And you'll see that outside of bows and crossbows and throwing and slings, basically every ranged weapon has a -1, but other than those, all of our weapons are 0, which is a pretty good apt. So we should fly up pretty fast on long blades. And I mean, it's a great sort of electrocution. What else could you really ask for? Frankly, I would rather that this was a great sword of electrocution than a triple blade, because reaches men to blade much faster, and the base attack delay is only 1.7. Whereas it's 1.9 for a triple sword. 1.7, of course, is pretty big, but we'll reduce that fairly quickly, and we can start tabbing a bit. Should we do it again? You know what? I'm gonna do it again. This time I know where the scroll is, so let's... Oh wow! Oh wow! I didn't mean to get hit by that, but that's okay because we have Makhleb heals, and we only got hit by the 1. See, this is why you don't want to use immolation, though. Immolation is like, it's rarely a thing that you need to do. But oh man, it is fun. I do find it interesting that we found basically 2 of, I don't know if it's the same vault, but 2 very, very, very similar vaults that had like orc mine stuff in a big square configuration. Oh man, gruesome. This is awesome. And Biog altars. Well, that was fun. This video is dragging on a little bit longer than I had intended, but I have noticed that the longest part of any of these videos tends to be the pre-lair stuff, and I guess it's just because I'm moving so slowly. We're going to drop this Ring of Intelligence. We don't need it anymore. And we'll get the Ring of Evasion instead for defenses. But yeah, like pre-lair is easily the most dangerous part of the game, in my opinion. As a Draconian, we cannot wear helmets. We can only wear hats. Okay, so that's the pre-lair. Let's, before we end the video, let's purchase some things. We'll get this amulet, and we'll go ahead and wear the hat. And, you know, you may be thinking, why did I buy a mundane hat? That's a waste of gold. Well, I can enchant it and get 1 AC out of it, so, you know, there's no guarantee I'll even find another hat in the game, so I'm happy doing that. I'll wear the amulet. It's regeneration. Better than nothing. Pretty good amulet. I mean, it's okay. If we run for a long time and kite things, it'll come in handy. And why not? We'll get the Potion of Cancellation, just because, you know, it can save you in certain situations. Probably not going to care about the Rune Longsword now, since we have the best long blade we could really ask for. Did we find that on D10? Oh, it is on D10. look at that. We kill a two-headed ogre and we gain 2 levels in long blades, and it goes to 4. That goes to show just how easy it is to train things up when they're already, or when they're still very low. You know, you'll kill like one thing at your current skill level and it'll just rocket up. So this isn't half bad. Our attack speed is still quite slow, so we don't want to just go in tabbing when we go into Lair. But especially with this greatsword, I think that we're going to have an easier time in Lair than I was first anticipating. I still think that spiny frogs could cause us an issue despite our poison resistance. And if we stupidly walk into hydras, that could certainly get us killed. But other than that, I would rate it at about a 5 out of 10 probably for difficulty that we're going to have in Lair. Not too hard, not too easy either. So until next time, I will sign off and we'll head into the Lair in the next video.